Sweet life, sweet life, sweet life.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm Cece from Sweet Life of Cece. So as you can see from the title of this video, we're gonna do another chit chat and bake with me today. Seemed like you guys really liked that last video I did with the Minnie Mouse cake. So we're gonna chit chat today, and I'm gonna work on an order that is going out this morning. So on our last First, before we get started, if you are new to my channel, I'm Cece. I am a home baker. I've had my own home baking business for about 10 years now. I also work full time. I am a published author. You can find my book on Amazon. And now I'm starting a new journey as a notary and loan signing agent. So in my last chit chat and bake with me video, I talked about, me joining YouTube and me reaching my 100 subscribers. And I think that was about 2 months ago. And now I'm actually at over 400 subscribers, which is amazing. I mean, it might not sound like much to you, but it's a lot to me for me to even be scared to even get started and to not think that anybody would want to watch my videos or subscribe to my channel. So it's amazing getting notifications every day that people subscribe to your channel, people leaving good feedback, people sharing my videos, DMing me on Instagram, asking me questions and stuff, sending me encouraging words. I literally got somebody from, I forgot where she said she was from, India. I don't want to get it. I think it was India. And she was just like, I love your videos. I'm trying to learn how to do cakes. Very inspiring. So I'm happy for my little 400 plus subscribers. Thank you for rocking with me. If you new, you want to join my channel, I do a lot of cake tutorials. I started doing some vlogging. I'm going to do more vlogging. I'm actually going to do 12 days of Christmas videos leading up to Christmas. So stay tuned for that, because it's going to be some good vlogs and Christmas treat tutorials and just some real fun stuff related to Christmas. I could do Vlogmas, but I just felt like that was such a big commitment to have to post every day in the month of December. Like I told y'all, I have my baking business. Now I'm doing YouTube. I have a full-time job. Now I just started the process of a loan signing agent. I have a son. It's a lot trying to get a video up every day. So I'm gonna commit to the 12 days of Christmas, and maybe next year I can do Vlogmas for the whole month. We'll see. So yes, to the new people who are here for the notary info or whatever, I decided to start the journey to become a loan signing agent. And just a quick backstory of how I even got to that point is maybe 5 years ago, I went out to lunch with one of my friends, right? And so she was running late for lunch. And then when she got there, she was like, oh, I'm so sorry that I'm late, but I'm coming from a loan signing. And I was like, oh, okay. I kind of just brushed it off okay, I didn't know what that was. And so I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I became a notary. And she's like, I work with these title companies. And she's like, they send me to people's houses and, different offices to meet with people who are buying homes, refinancing homes, things like that. And she was like, I go out there and I notarize the documents. And she was like, I get paid $100, $150 for some of them. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's cool. Because in my head, I just was thinking oh, okay, she got some hookup. My friend, this is my friend who knows everybody. She knows everybody in South Florida. So I literally was thinking she had some type of hookup. Oh, I'm like, that's what's up. Never crossed my mind, because in my mind, notaries made $5 and $10 to notarize documents, and that was it. So it was unheard of to me, a notary, making $100 and $200 to like notarize some papers. So like I always remember her telling me that. It was kind of in the back of my head, and like that was just kind of it. Like I even like mentioned it to my boyfriend, like, oh, do you know so and so said that she's a notary and she make like $100 something dollars just to like notarize a few papers. And so he was like, oh really? In which at that point, which I'm gonna give him leeway, he probably wasn't even thinking, and it wasn't even connecting to him, because my boyfriend is a property appraiser, and he's been a property appraiser for like 15 years. So he literally gets sent out to these homes by the bank to appraise them. Like he does something similar to the loan signings, but you know, he meet with the homeowner, he, you know, takes a tour of the house, he takes pictures, he does the measurements, he kind of sees like what's the schools in the area, how close it is to a highway, how close it is to the mall, and the other houses that like sold in the area and what they sold for. And he kind of compare the houses, like do they have upgrades or not. And like that's how, you know, appraisers come up with the value of your house. If you didn't know, I only know because I live with a property appraiser. So at that point you would think he would be like, oh yeah, she's a loan signing agent. But no, he was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. So now fast forward 5 years later, I'm talking to another one of my friends. And so she's like, oh yeah, like, I'm about to, be a loan signing agent. And so like, because my first friend didn't tell me what the name of it was, I didn't realize she was talking about the same thing that my friend was talking about the first time, right? So she's like, yeah, I'm about to be a loan signing agent. And I was like, oh, okay, what's that? And so she was like, oh, where I, you know, go out to, I get sent out by mortgage and title companies to meet with people, and I notarize the documents, have them sign and things like that. And they pay me like, you know, $175, whatever, for going out. And I'm like, that's when the light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, wait, what is it called? And so she said it's called a loan signing agent. And so I'm like, so what's the process behind this? So she starts telling me the process. Oh, you have to be a notary, and then you have to like do a state exam, and it's just basically telling me the steps of what to do or whatever. So at that point, a light bulb like went off in my head, because like I said before, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. Like I am an entrepreneur at heart. Like I feel like I was born to be an entrepreneur. So like whenever I hear of like new business opportunities, not like get rich quick schemes, like I'm not into that type of stuff or whatever. But if it's a legitimate side hustle, or even something that I, you know, maybe can turn into like a full-time hustle in the future, like I'm willing to take a look at it at least. Like not necessarily, because a lot of people have approached me with different businesses, different, you know, things or whatever, you know, as far as selling things and, you know, joining different teams and things like that. And I wasn't really interested in anything like that. So what I liked about the whole loan signing thing is that, you know, essentially you work for the title companies, but you also work for yourself. And like you can, you know, take jobs and you can refuse jobs or whatever. And once I looked at the requirements, I kind of like mapped it out, like, and like put it into perspective, like, okay, this is something you can do. And like, this is absolutely something you can do. And so I started taking the necessary steps. And I say this was like, maybe like October, I decided, which one of my old coworkers, she actually, we were talking one day, and I was like telling her, this was like earlier this year. I was like, I want to be a notary. And she's like, yeah, I always wanted to be a notary too. So I'm like convincing her, like, oh, you should do it. You should be a notary or whatever. And I was like, let's do it together. And she's like, okay. So literally, maybe like 3 weeks later, She was like, oh, I got my notary stamp. And I'm like, what? Mind you, y'all, I had never even started the process. So I was just like, you know what? I need to get it together. So, you know, being home during quarantine, it kind of got me to thinking about life, you know, thinking about what ifs and, you know, with everybody getting laid off, like it absolutely put me in the mind frame of, you know, what if you lose your job? Or what if, you know, we have another, you know, episode or pandemic or, you know, something like this. Like, you know, what is your plan? And, you know, just thinking about the future. And like, one thing I always pride myself on is that I always felt like I can fall back on my cake business. Like, I'm thankful that over these 10 years, I have built a very loyal client base where, like, when I did go full time, you know, I was having a lot more bake sales. And like my clients, one thing about my clients, they gonna support. They gonna support. So I always kind of fall, you know, have that to fall back on. And I, you know, I'm like thankful for that talent, that I can actually fall back on that. But I'm also always looking at other options, because during the pandemic, you know, a lot of events and parties were getting canceled. And so thankfully my clients, they ride or die. They still was having small birthday parties at their house. I just need a cake for 10 people. I just need 12 cupcakes. I just need, like, they just still was having little parties at their house. Like, I call my clients party people, because one thing about them, they gonna party. So, yeah, so I still stayed busy, like not as busy, because of course, you know, doing a cake for a party with 40 people and doing a cupcakes for 10 people, you know, or 5 people, of course, doesn't pay out the same. But I was still thankful. But, you know, with the pandemic, with people not being able to leave the house, people not being able to party and things like that, because my cake business is widely and solely based on people partying. So with everything being shut down and people not being able to like go out and party, I will say, like, it did slow my business down. But one thing for sure, no matter what's going on, people still gonna buy and sell houses. And so that's one thing that I learned during this whole pandemic. Like, you need to have multiple hustles. So that's what I did. So first step I did was I went ahead and got my notary commission through the state of Florida. And so I went to I believe it's the state secretary. Yeah, it's the state secretary. I actually went through this agency that is like close by my house or whatever, and they actually literally do everything for you. Like, I filled out the application, I paid them, which I'm sure I paid probably like a convenience fee, because the agency actually sent my application in for me. They did my bond information for me, and then they actually mailed me my stamp and my certificate and all of that. So, and that was like $80. So I did that. That took a few weeks to come back. And then once that came back, I actually studied to take the loan signing test. And then I took the test on NNA, and I also did their background check, because from my research and what I'm finding out, that it makes you a lot more marketable, and it makes you stand out from other notaries when you are NNA certified. That's like a flex, like, you know. So yeah, so I made sure that I was NNA certified, because one thing about me, if I'm gonna put my time and my money and my effort into it, I'm gonna make sure that I'm about to make some money out of this, and that I'm really gonna get actually picked. Because there's millions of notaries probably just in Florida. So, you know, that's also a lot of work to go around. But I didn't want to cancel myself out by not being NNA certified. So I made sure that I was NNA certified. So that took a few weeks to come back. So now basically where I am is that last week I got back my background check results, and then I passed my test, in which y'all it's not hard, but it's tricky the way they ask the questions. And I actually failed the test the first time I took it, and I like literally sat on the floor Indian style pouting. And so Bay came downstairs, and so he's like looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I failed my test. He's like, oh no. He felt so bad for me. And so I was determined, y'all. Like, I closed that computer, and so I started going back through my notes, going back through my study guide. It's a Facebook group it's a notary like Facebook group that I'm in or whatever, and they like talk about different things. So I like searched through the group to see if like people were talking about the test, and like literally people had like, you know, put in different questions from like the actual test in there, and a bunch of notaries, like 100 notaries, are going back and forth like discussing the answers. Even though you had like 20 people say A, 20 people say B, 40 people say D, somebody give an answer that's not even there. So they still kind of confused me. But like, it's like a moderator to the group, which is like a notary agency type. So I kind of like trusted their answer or whatever. But my test was also worded a little bit differently, because it looks like the questions that they were posting to the group was from like 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm sure they switch it up a little bit or whatever. For the most part, the questions were like similar, but they had me purely confused. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna look at these answers and kind of see because they would give the answer and they would be like, I would say this because blah, 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 blah. So I was more concerned, like, guess I tell my son this all the time, like, he just want to try to like guess the answer. And I'm like, even if he guessed it right, I make him do it over, because I'm like, you got to figure out how you got to the answer. Like me, like a lot of people just feel like, I don't care, I just want the answer so I can pass that is. But like when it's real life and you in this situation, like I want to really know what to do. I want to really know what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to handle that situation. So I really wanted to kind of understand what the answers was. And it's not one of those tests that tell you which ones you got wrong, baby. So I kept like I was so frustrated, but I sat down, I focused, y'all. I turned everything off. I turned the TV off. I made my son go upstairs. I was like, go upstairs, close your door, put on your headphones, because he was like playing his video game, and be quiet. My boyfriend ended up leaving. I turned the TV off, turned everything, and I just sat there and I like focused, and I'm like using my critical thinking, like, okay. And I'm like going, they give you like a, on the NNA, they have like a study guide, but like also a lot of it was like situational. So it kind of was like, you know, it was a little difficult to kind of figure it out, but I ended up passing. So when I passed, I was jumping on the couch, jumping all around like, hey. So I was so happy. So yeah, that's where I am now. So now I'm like signing up for different loan signing services. Stage that I'm at basically is I've passed the test, I've passed the background check. So I was waiting because they have to issue your E&O insurance policy. And so a lot of the signing sites and agencies like require you to like actually like upload your notary commission, your background check results, and your insurance policy. So like, although like I found out that I like, you know, passed and had everything last week, I couldn't actually sign up for any services until I actually got my insurance policy. So I got an email that my insurance policy was ready and it was available for me to download. So I did that, and so I've like uploaded my documents. The first one I did is Snapdocs, and so I'm just waiting on them to verify me. And I'm actually starting the Mark Wills loan signing class or whatever, so I can just get more insight into, although I passed the test like on my own without any class, I feel like I need more training, more education. So I'm actually going to take his course. And so I actually have a client turned friend who is a loan signing agent. We met by her ordering some things from her son for her son's birthday, and I found out that she was a loan signing agent, and now we have sons that are the same age or whatever. So now we're doing play dates, and so she's actually a loan signing agent. So she's like been giving me tips, and very thankful for her help and guidance in this process. So if you're a new loan signing agent or an old one, and you want to connect, you're in Florida, even if you're not in Florida, send me an email or, 1 second. So yeah, like I was saying, if you are a loan signing agent in South Florida or Florida in general, or even not in Florida, if you're a new one, you want to connect, kind of encourage each other on this journey, then feel free. I'll put my email address in the box below, and my Instagram and things like that. So my Instagram right now is like mostly for my, cake and treat business, but I'm actually going to start a new Instagram for my notary sign-in business. So that should be coming soon. I just wanted to actually come up with a name. I've been trying to think of names for the service, and just nothing is coming to me. So, something will come to me soon. But yeah, so that's where I am in the process. And so I kind of wanted to record this journey of like me starting, and because I wish I would have recorded the journey of me starting to bake. Like I wish y'all could have saw like 10 years ago when I started. I was a hot mess, y'all. A hot mess. And so I wish I could have like recorded that journey. Like I have pictures from my work, but like I don't have like videos of me like saying like I'm starting a baking business. This is how I feel, And so, just to see your growth and journey, it's amazing to look back at like some of your old videos and be like, woo, child, I done came such a long way. So I wanted to document this journey, like since I'm at the beginning and I just started this YouTube channel. And so like, even though like my channel is like sweet, like that, and that's why I call it the sweet life, because yeah, a lot of my life does revolve around sweets and desserts and baked goods and things like that. I felt like I had more to share. Like I'm gonna start doing some vlogging. I'm gonna start doing some like DIY. I'm gonna include in my 12 days of Christmas some like DIY projects. Probably some day in the life videos, things like that. So that's why I call my channel the Sweet Life. So yeah, you'll get a lot of sweets, but like this journey is like a part of like I said, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I'm like always, looking for different opportunities to learn through things, bring in another stream of income, because what they say, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. And not saying that I'm trying to be rich, but I'm definitely trying to build wealth, so I can pass that down to my son. I'm running so he can do a light jog. Hopefully he don't have to run as hard, I can pass something down to him and kind of show him how it's done. Hopefully he listen. Hopefully he take heed and, go out and hit the ground running. So yeah, now I'm gonna do the drip on this cake for my, subscribers who are here for the cake videos or whatever. And so I figure everybody who is watching my channel is either they either have a baking business or interested in a baking business. They either want to learn, to do this stuff for their family. They're probably, a mom, or maybe they want to learn to, maybe they want to learn how to do different treats for family and friends, or take it to the office or whatever. So, but I feel like everybody, there's something you can learn, something you could get. Either I'm going to teach you something, Hopefully I can either motivate you, make you laugh, just make you take your mind off your problems for 15, 20 minutes watching my video, whatever you came here for. I want to give it to you. So yeah, so this is another extension of my life and, you know, my business. I do want to get more into like talking about business because I do get a lot of questions about the actual business aspect of cakes, because it's one thing to make these beautiful cakes and treats or whatever, but it's a whole nother thing to actually build a clientele and be able to sell them, right? So yeah, I want to get into the business aspect of it. So if you want to see more, more videos about my loan signing journey or my cake journey or my vlogs, or you just, you know, want to hang out, subscribe to my channel. So I'm gonna do the drip on this cake before I finish up this video, and then at the end, you know, for my subscribers who here for the sweets, I'm gonna show y'all how the end product turned out. And so yeah, I'm gonna put this back in the fridge. Let y'all see up close. I'm gonna let it harden up, let the chocolate harden up, and then I'm gonna paint it gold. And I'm gonna add some, hold up. I'm gonna add some of these foam flowers to it after I paint it gold. And like I said, at the end of the video, I will show y'all how it all turned out. But yeah, so thank you for watching. That's the end of today's video. And hope to see you guys back soon. Happy holidays. Bye.
Sweet life.